Here we go again. I can't believe we're making this video for how many times has it been? At least 3 after the Mavericks lose to the Lakers. Another hit piece from The Athletic on Luka Doncic in his final days with the Mavericks dropped this morning. And we have to break it down because there are some things in there that are absolutely ridiculous. Before we get into today's show, I want to ask you guys, how are you feeling after last night? What was the emotions like of seeing Luka on another team? For me, it was weird. It was sad. I was angry. But it also was really fun watching Luka play basketball again. So let me know what you guys are thinking to kick off today's show. Let's jump right in. Here's what The Athletic had to say. This is part 1 of Sam Amick's article. Make no mistake, the people who witnessed Dončić's last days in Dallas do not paint a flattering portrait of the 25-year-old's professionalism. They call him lazy. They talk about the weight issues that were such a frequent frustration within their walls. The people in question. This guy right here. Nobody else questioned it. The only person in question is Mavs GM Nico Harrison. Unfortunately, Nico Harrison is also the guy in charge of making decisions of basketball operations for the Dallas Mavericks. So that's unfortunate how that works. But he is the only guy who had questions about Luka Doncic's professionalism. That I can guarantee you. Part 2 of Sam Amick's quote. They mentioned the social habits that The Athletic has reported on, such as a taste for beer and hookah, which have been a point of concern for NBA types since he was a 19-year-old star for Real Madrid, who is entering the NBA draft. Here is my response to what Mr. Amick had to say in his reporting. Breaking! 25-year-old rich Eastern European likes to smoke and drink in his free time. If you know anything about the culture of Eastern Europe, these guys are smoking cigarettes when they're in kindergarten. No one cares that Luka smokes and likes to drink beer. He was the second best player in the league. He could do whatever he wants. Michael Jordan was gambling millions of dollars per hole in golf games with Charles Barkley, with whoever else in Chicago during the NBA Finals, smoking cigars, doing everything else to his body. No one was complaining about that because he was winning titles. No one cares that Luka likes to party and smoke hookah. He's a 25-year-old rich Eastern European guy. It does not matter. For more thoughts on the matter, though, you can also follow me on Twitter at Jeff_Coop27, as you see on your screen right now. Part 3 and the final part that we'll take a look at here. It's one person, predict his basketball demise, highlighting a health history that, as some will see it, will likely lead to catastrophe in the next 5 years or so. This is unbelievable. A day after the Mavericks played the Lakers, this article comes out. I don't know whether it's convenient timing or if all this article was sourced last night and this was put together quickly, but it is truly unbelievable. Nico Harrison, the GM of the Mavericks, who's in charge of making basketball decisions, is the only person within the Mavericks organization who thought this was a good idea. There is nobody else. Now, he did convince ownership that this was a good idea, but ownership doesn't know anything about basketball, so that's neither here nor there. He is the only person that thought, hey, I think trading Luka Doncic makes us a better team. I thought trading a generational superstar that the fans are in love with makes this a better franchise, a better team, a better community. Only guy in Dallas-Fort Worth who had that opinion. This much is clear. Nico does not give a fuck about Dallas Mavericks fans. If he did, the hit pieces would stop. If he made the trade and was like, look, we thank Luka for his time. He was a great servant to the Dallas Mavericks. He'll be looked upon with nothing but love from this organization for the rest of time. People would be mad about the trade, but they wouldn't be as up in arms as they are right now. There is at least an article per week that has come out since the trade bashing Luka, bashing his professionalism, saying he's not good enough to win a championship, saying this, saying that. It is unacceptable how the Dallas Mavericks have acted since the trade of Luka to the Lakers. If you want to come out in public and say something, stand by your decision to be like I said, We think highly of Luka. We think he's a great player. We think he's a great person. We wish him the best going forward. We have nothing bad to say about him, this and that. I wouldn't be okay with it, but at least I'd respect the front office. The worst part about this thing is that Nico doesn't know or frankly care that he's alienated an entire fan base. And I'm not sure which one is worse. Is it worse that he doesn't know, or is it worse that he simply doesn't care about the fans? I think he knows. At the end of the day, and, after all I've said about him, this may be contradictory. I don't think he's a dumb person. I think he knows and is aware of his surroundings and what's going on around him. It's the fact that he does not care what the fans think. In fact, he has gaslighted the fans into trying to say that their favorite player wasn't good enough for them. And that is detestable. And I hope Nico Harrison can hit the pillow at night knowing that he destroyed an entire generation of Dallas Mavericks fans. If you're frustrated with Nico Harrison, let him know in the comment section. You obviously know I am by now. I want to hear what you guys have to say about the Mavericks general manager. Hey, look, if you agree with what Nico is saying and all of the sentiments, put that down in the comments as well. We're a community here. We're about deferring opinions. So let me know what you guys think down below. We'll get to the rest of today's show here in just a moment, but I do need to tell you guys about our sponsor, which is PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. PrizePicks has over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, making daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. The second half of basketball season is almost here. Baseball season is on the way. Hockey season is in full swing. You can play all of these with our friends at PrizePicks, the best place to get real money action in over 30 states, including California, Georgia, Florida, and, of course, Texas. They put their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. I do have a Wednesday night projection for you guys. I took the more on Matas Buzelis, 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And I'm also going to take the more on James Harden, 15 rebounds and assists. So you can copy my picks, or you can make picks of your own. Just please make sure you do it with our friends over at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app. Use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the bonus. It is guaranteed. That link will be clickable in the comments and the description of today's show. It is PrizePicks. Run your game. This report from Mark Stein came out before the Mavericks vs. Lakers game, which I thought was interesting, where he said the Mavs, Nico Harrison, it's Nico Harrison, let's get that clear, didn't want to revolve around Luka anymore and would have traded him this offseason had he not traded him at the deadline. So it sounds like Nico was so desperate to move on from Luka that he just went to the Lakers and was like, give me Anthony Davis, throw in Max Christie, we'll take 1 first-round pick from you. We don't even want Dalton Knecht or that other first-round pick. Let's just get this deal done as soon as we can. He was determined to move off of Luka. I don't know whether that's arrogance or pure delusion. It's certainly one of the two. It might be both. The hubris to think I know better than every single person that surrounds the NBA, that every single person sees this guy is great. I don't think he is, so I'm going to do what I think is best, even though everyone else is against you. The best course of action for the Mavericks front office over the next, basically, multiple years, shut the F up. If it is not positive, we do not want to hear from you. We do not want these briefs about how Luka liked to go on the road and smoke hookah and drink beers. No shit he did. He's a 25-year-old from Slovenia making $40+ million a season. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Of course he likes to go out and party. All of these guys do. Who doesn't? Luka was a generational talent that was ours. We drafted him. I know we traded for him, but we drafted him. We scouted him. He developed with us into that generational superstar. And you ripped him away from us. And you gaslighted us in the weeks, and probably will in the months coming from. Quit dropping these weekly hit pieces on how you didn't like his professionalism and how you didn't like that his off-the-court habits. They don't matter. It simply doesn't matter. Let the fans attempt to move on from the heartache and the frustration and the anger that you have caused. Just stop leaking stuff to ESPN and The Athletic. Let them draw their own conclusions. It's pretty easy to draw conclusions about this trade and how it sucked. Did you see last night's game? Luka looked like he was about to drop about 60 in the first quarter, by the way. Now he cooled off from shooting, but he still had a very good game, especially rebounding and dishing out the ball. And I love, by the way, this is a little tangent here, that Laker fans are now finding out that Luka has the worst whistle in the league as far as superstars go. PJ Washington absolutely hacked Luka across the arm. No call from the ref who was standing 2 feet away from there. Luka just turns to him and said, "What the F?" Gets a technical right away. I was laughing because we've literally seen that for the last 6.5 years. He doesn't get any calls. But anyways, that nevertheless, you have to let the fans attempt to move on until April 9th at the American Airlines Center. That game is going to be absolutely insane. I didn't know what my emotions were going to be like yesterday. Now that he's coming back to the AAC, it's going to be a scene of which the likes we may have never seen in the American Airlines Center. And that includes 2 trips to the NBA Finals in 2006 and 2011. That includes Dirk's last game in 2019, ironically enough, which was also on April 9th. I don't know what that scene is going to look like, but I can tell you what. When you take a look at this picture, one guy is going to get a standing long ovation. The other guy, if he's shown, is going to get extremely loud boos and chants and everything coming his way if he even shows his face in the arena that night. Ridiculous. Stop with the Luka hit pieces. Let us move on. Let us enjoy Mavericks basketball without having to think about, oh, what is the Mavericks front office going to say about Luka next to try to justify the trade. Let us move on. Let us honor him on April 9th. And let's finally get some closure into this chapter that you did not allow us to provide. I'm tired of it. I'm glad I got to see the game last night. I'm glad we got to watch Luka play basketball again. And then I woke up this morning and I became angry once again because Nico Harrison decided that he wanted to leak some more stuff to try to make his point justified when everybody knows his point is not justified. And that's all I have to say. You can follow me on Twitter at Jeff_Coop27. I appreciate all of the support over the last month. It's been a crazy month here at Mavericks Today. Let's keep it going. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you soon here on the